What is going on, folks? Welcome back. Welcome back. We've got a Monday night in the books, week 13 in the books between the Patriots and the Giants. This is After Further Review, a Monday Night Football recap. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I am Malin Dennis.
I'm the other co-host, Junebug Spade.
And rolling out of the Cascade Mountains like a thundering herd of caribou, and back in the 253, it is G-Money.
I cannot.
I didn't even know are there caribou up there?
G-Money, how did you enjoy your Florida trip?
I love my Florida trip. It was really good. I mean, to hang out with you guys, do the show together, see all the grandkids, just spend time down there. And winters, as it's been said on Game of Thrones, winter is coming. Winter is coming, G-Money. So head south and get some sunshine, because you ain't gonna see it for a long ass time.
Ugh. Shout out to you, sir, because I put my Blue Label mini box sitting on my desk now as a party favorite.
Did you mean to leave this here, by the way?
I did. That was for you.
Okay. Yeah, I've been drinking. It's really good.
Glad you've been enjoying that.
It was kind of last night. I was on my second glass, and I was like, I know we left it here, but I don't know if he meant to. I should probably ask him before I keep drinking that.
If you drink the rest of the bottle.
Hey, you know what I just found on my patio, guys? Today, I was like cleaning up my patio a little bit. I found the bottle of 1942 that we killed. Nestor had put it like up against the side of my TV stand, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
There's this random bottle here. All right, let's get into tonight's game between the Patriots and the Giants. It was entertaining at times, but it was pretty one-sided throughout the majority of the game. 33-15 was the final score. On the winning side of things, Drake May was 24 for 31, 282 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Drake May continues to just be as efficient as they come. On the other side of things, Jackson Dart, he was 17 of 24, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. And Jackson Dart continues to play a hell of a lot reckless. That's the best way I could sum up his kind of performance there. But if we were going to start off with the Patriots here, and G-Money, we'll go to you first here. What did you think of the way that the Patriots offense looked tonight?
I was actually impressed by their offensive line, especially when you consider their starting left guard and left tackle were out. So they had, their backups in there, and they created for the most part. I think Drake only got sacked once, but the pocket that they created enabled him to be as efficient as he was. I mean, when you've got 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball to kind of survey the field, that's a damn good O-line. And people may think that the Giants are hot trash, but their D-line is really good. And once Carter came back in the second quarter, that's a solid D-line. And you were able to throw on it. You were able to run on it for the most part. The DBs are hot trash, though. But no, that's the two things. So the first was the offensive line, and this is the first time I've actually got to watch a whole Patriots game, because usually the Seahawks are playing, so we've got Red Zone on. But Drake May looked really good. I can see why he's in the running for MVP. And if Matthew Stafford has another hiccup like he did this past weekend, Drake May could very well win it. I mean, they're on a bye, if I'm not mistaken, after this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they play Buffalo, and we've seen their defenses. It's not that super impressive. Baltimore, once again, their defense isn't that impressive. They play the Jets. Okay. Yeah, their defense is playing a little better, but their offense is hot trash. And then Miami, and who knows what you got with Miami. And they're playing Miami in New England, so everybody knows how well Miami plays when the temperature drops below 50. So if he continues going the way he's going, he could well win the MVP in his second year. And you guys could have New England could be the number one seed in the AFC, playing all the playoff games at home.
Malin, I'm going to come to you next on this one, and we're just going to kind of stay in the same realm here. But you mentioned this right before we went live. Drake May's efficiency, how much are you impressed with just how efficient he's been playing?
I feel like he has the same game every week. You always know that when they win a game, you can look at his stat line. He's only going to miss about 6 or 8 passes. He's going to have 220 to 270 passing yards. He's going to have 2 touchdowns. Probably not going to have any picks. He just looks very comfortable in that Josh Daniels offense. I was even just looking at this after the game. He completed a pass to 8 different receivers, and 7 out of those 8 receivers caught at least 3 balls. No one had more than 4 receptions in the whole game. So he's not locking in on one target. He's not just focusing in on Henry or Diggs. He's spreading the ball around to everybody. I told you at the very beginning of the year, Jalen, I think you and I were the 2 that had the Patriots having double-digit wins this season. At least I think we did. I think I was at 10, maybe I was at 9, but I had them in a winning season. And I was saying, even before the season started, I like what I saw to Drake May at the end of last year. And he's just impressed the hell out of me, man. He's not playing like a second year dude. He's not giving you that, that crazy 384 touchdown game, but he doesn't need to do that with this team. You have a very good defense. You have a good running game. I still don't know why Stevenson's getting more touches than Henderson in this offense. I think that would be my only gripe about the Patriots right now, is that you need to stop it. One had 4 yards of carry. The other one was 6 yards of carry. Stevenson should not be out touching Henderson right now. Henderson is he's your horse. You need to ride him more. But I mean, who would have thought going into this year, man, that we'd be right back in 2013 to 2015 when the Broncos and the Patriots have the best records in the AFC. I didn't have that on my bingo sheet. I don't know where that cube came from, but there it is.
That's so true. I didn't even think about that. Damn, yeah, the Bo Nix Broncos and the Drake May Patriots. That's very
two second year quarterback.
Yeah. Speaking of the other quarterback in this game, Jackson Dart, and June, definitely want to hear you on this one. What did you think of his play in this game, and more specifically, his rushing plays throughout this game were just a bit wacky at times. He had one where he almost got his head taken off as he was along the sideline there, but luckily he was fine. So what did you think about Jackson Dart?
Well, the thing I think about Jackson Dart is he's young, he's reckless, he's trying to make a name for himself. So right now the Giants don't have a coach, so he can do all of that. they're going to have to bring in a coach that's going to rein him in a little bit, because they're going to have to sit him down and say, hey, kid, you're not in college anymore. These guys are paid millions of dollars to nail you. And when these guys get a chance to hit the quarterback, they hit the quarterback. I mean, it was chippy all night. I don't know if you guys saw how many fights just broke out around the field. And that was not a dirty hit. That was a perfectly good hit. Jackson Dart should have went out 2 yards before, and he wouldn't have took that hit. And that's something that a coach is going to have to come in and tell this kid. You need to calm down. We're going to make you our franchise quarterback. We don't need you taking in a game. We're already down. We're not going to the playoffs. Get your yards, get out of bounds, live to fight another day. And that's something that he hasn't learned because he don't have a head coach. Brian Dable wanted to win at all costs. I mean, we all remember the pictures of Brian Dable standing outside the tent. Like, get him back out there. We saw that, and trying to play him when the guy's got a concussion. They're going to have to get somebody in there to calm the kid down. I like his moxie. He's got good moxie. He wants to play. He wants to be a winner, right? But you gotta rein that in just a little bit, because it's not going to help you if you're missing 5 to 6 games and you're always sitting over there in street clothes watching the game go by. So, keep your moxie, keep that, but you got to play intelligently. And that's what I would tell him if I was his coach.
Do you guys think he's pressing because, like, he feels like it's all on his shoulders to try to do something? Because every other key player on offense, like, who's available on that offense to make plays? I think he's going out there feeling like, he's got to be Kobe in the ISO with a shitty 2018 Lakers team or whatever it is. Trying to, do everything he can to win. And he's not, what is he, 23? I think he's 23.
I think so.
Around there.
He's still at that age where he feels invincible.
Yeah.
And that'll change over time. But I think if you guys remember, though, for some reason he looks a lot smaller than Lamar Jackson, but he's actually pretty close to the same height and weight as Lamar Jackson. In fact, I think he's heavier than Lamar Jackson. So he is a big boy. But I think now, without Scatterboo, without Neighbors, without your running backs, I don't know, like, how many offensive linemen are? I think he's just going out there trying to do whatever he can, but he needs to not kill himself. Because I do think that he reminds me a little bit of like a mix between Jaden Daniels and like Drake May right now from last year's draft class. Like, I see a little bit of want that pop in the run game, but I do think he has some of that confidence in the throwing game too. Just needs to come together more, hopefully next year when everybody's healthy. Scotty ain't going to be healthy, but maybe things could be a little bit different for him. But I think he's got a future in the league.
Yeah, I definitely think that he tries to press a bit because they're just, even if it's not personnel-wise, like, especially in this game, they just had so many weird things going wrong and people getting hit and hurt, and Young Wei Koo kicking the ground instead of the ball. That was the funniest thing I've seen all day. That was absolutely hilarious. It must have hurt too. It looked like it probably hurts.
Oh, that man gonna have turf toe tomorrow. Watch.
But outside of Jackson Dart, was there anything that you guys saw from the Giants that you did like tonight?
Their defense gets out of it. Let their defense get out. They will get after you on defense. That's the good thing. They are hungry on defense. The defensive line will get pushed into the backfield, but they push so far that I saw a couple of times where Stevenson and Henderson would do the same thing. The defensive line for the Giants would get a good push. Those guys would just be patient, wait for a hole to break open, and then they go 5 or 6 yards. And they did that so many times tonight. And I'm like, my God, man, that's when I put in there, G Money, he was like, nah, the Titans got this. That's why I put it in. The Giants are just absolutely terrible. But I think their defense is salvageable, if that's a word. The defense is salvageable. I think, if they build from the defense, for the next couple of years, I think they'll be back to a team that can compete within at least the NFC East. Because right now they're not even competing. They're going out there and just going through the motions. That's what it looks like from a lot of those guys, especially the offensive guys. They're just going through the motion. I think Singletary has something. He has a little speed and a little, he's a little bowling ball. He can bounce off some people and make some plays. But yeah, that's about it.
I don't know, man. Whenever I watch the Giants now, Jalen, I have to remind myself that this is a franchise that's won 4 Super Bowls. Like they just from the owner to the GM to the head coach to player personnel to just the shenanigans that I don't see this team being run any differently than the Jets, to be honest with you. Right? They don't look any different than the Jets right now. I don't think so. They draft good players and then they lose them. And they draft quarterbacks and they don't stick around and they don't pan out. They draft wide receivers that quarterbacks can't get them the ball. What's the difference between, for the last 10 years, what's the difference between the Jets and the Giants? Like, not a lot. I don't know. I think one of the Thibodeau, is he going to get re-signed by the Giants in the offseason? I think he's in his 4th year now, isn't he? So he's going to go into his
Yeah.
Are they going to let him go? And I mean,
Probably.
What's the point of paying him all that money if you don't have a team around that can win right now?
Well, and with Thibodeau, I mean, this is, I don't know if they picked up his 5th year option because this is his 4th year. So if they picked up his option, are they going to hold on to him? I mean, he hasn't had the stats they expected from him when they drafted him out of Oregon. They expected a lot more from him, and he's been inconsistent. He started showing up a little bit more this year, but still, and you're right, Malin. They're kind of hit and miss on the draft. I do like their D-line, but how long are they going to keep that together? You're right. They don't keep players. They either don't sign them to extensions, they trade them, and you can't keep trading your best players for more draft picks if you can't draft well. And, they fall into that same category as the Jets. If you can't draft well, or if you do and you can't keep those players, then, what's the use? You're just going through the motions. And unless you're spending a lot of money on free agency, and I don't know what they spent this year, but you're just doing a major disservice to your fans because they're the ones that are watching you on TV. They want to buy your tickets. And when you look at the Giants, you go, they've got parts that look good, right? If Malik Neighbors hadn't got injured, there's your number 1 wide receiver, right? Maybe Jackson Dart wouldn't be running for his life 40-50% of the time, or thinking that he had to be that guy, that he had to become Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen and run as much as he could and get those first downs. Because, are they on their 3rd string running back right now? I mean, they're just not. They have a lot of issues. Like I said, I of the people I like on defense, I like Abdul Carter. I think he's going to be something. Dexter Lawrence, so he's in his 7th year. He's really good as a D tackle. And Thibodeau, when he shows up, can be an opposing DN / linebacker, but other than that, when you start looking at everything else on the team, at least on the defense, you don't see very much. And on the offense, like I said, if Malik Neighbors comes back healthy, and Malin is right on this, you need to get yourself a good head coach, a good offensive coordinator, a good quarterback coach, and you need to stay there more than 2 years. You can't have this revolving door, because then what happens is that you land up not keeping Jackson Dart. He turns into hot trash. You kick him out the door. He goes to someone like the Rams, the 49ers, and all of a sudden he blossoms. And everybody's going, well, how did that happen? Well, it happened because you have consistency with ownership, management, and coaching.
Well,
And when you don't have that, you get the Giants, you get the Jets, you get bad teams.
the biggest thing that the Giants and the Jets are guilty of, Jalen, and G Money in June, is that you think about it, they draft all this talent, the Jets and the Giants. They've got like the wide receivers, the D-backs, the defense, and even running back, stuff like that. They've never lined up the right head coach and a quarterback at the right time in their career while they have all these valuable assets that they're not having to sign the second deal. Like Jackson Dart right now did not need a coach fighting for his life. And the team around Jackson Dart really needs him to be in like year 2 or 3 right now. He's like 1 year too late for this current constructed team to really. Does that make sense? Like they've never hit the sweet spot with the talent that they put around the team. There's always a coaching issue or a quarterback issue, and the talent around them, like the Saquon Barkleys and the Odell. I mean, remember Odell Beckham with Eli Manning at the tail end of his career. Like, it's just always the same with these two franchises. They haven't been able to lock up the talent and the quarterback and the coach at the same time to kind of unlock that. Kind of like what New England has done. New England has locked in a second-year quarterback with a really good head coach, a great offensive coordinator, and they're not having to pay a bunch of money to a lot of people right now. And when they do have to pay money to people, Drake May will still be on a rookie contract for a couple more years. So the Patriots are in a good spot.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Malin. The Mara family, they should have made the change to get rid of Brian Dable at the beginning, at the end of last season. They missed that window. They should have said, especially if you didn't think you was going to keep him. If you had no intention of keeping Brian Dable through this season, why the hell did you keep him? And then why the hell did you draft Jackson Dart if you wasn't going to keep him? Because now, here's the situation when it comes in. What if you get a guy who's an offensive guy or hell, a defensive guy, and then they go to the Mara family and say, this isn't my style of quarterback. I want to be your head coach, but this isn't my style of quarterback. This guy's not going to work for me in the system. What does the Mara family do now? Now you're sitting there debating, am I going to get another quarterback now, or we're going to have to get, or, who's going to be the head coach again? So what do you do? So I think they missed the window. They could have changed. They could have made this change at the end of last season. That way, they got a new coach, a new quarterback, and you coming into a new system. And that's the way it should have been.
How's Johnson doing with Chicago right now? He's available as a head coach, bright offensive mind. I mean, I don't know. Giants. Sorry, that was a lot for you just asking, did we see anything else that guy? The answer, I think, is no.
Moving to the kind of last portion here. If we look at the Patriots' last 4 games of the season here, they do a bye next week. But they have Buffalo. They host Buffalo. They go to Baltimore. They go to the Jets. And then they finish out by hosting the Dolphins.
How many games do y'all won in a row?
I think that was either the 8th or the 9th.
I think you're due for a loss. At least one out of those 4. What is it? It's Buffalo. Who again?
Buffalo, Baltimore,
Buffalo,
New York.
New York, and who else?
Miami.
So, I mean, I think that Baltimore or Buffalo game, one of those, I could see them dropping one of those. Realistically, winning 3 out of the last 4. And to be honest, man, a young team, I know you got a veteran head coach and a veteran OC and stuff like that. Like, do you really want the pressure of carrying on like a 12-game winning streak going into the playoffs? Man, that's
not.
that I think 3 losses will still, because I don't see the Broncos winning out the rest of the way either. I still think that 3 losses are going to end up getting you the number 1 seed. But I think the more you keep winning like that, and you don't have one of those gut check games, maybe you start thinking you're a little bit more invincible than you really are, and then you get caught flat-footed in the playoffs and you're fucked because you're a young team. So this could be one of those things to where, and it sounds stupid, but a loss actually could be good for a young team to kind of refocus a little bit. But so if they drop one, I don't think it's a big deal because they're just playing really good ball, and I don't see them getting blown out or anything. But I could see a Buffalo or a Baltimore sneaking one out there.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, where do we want to get this loss over with? I'd rather it in the regular season where it's fine and there's another week inevitably to come after that. So I agree 1,000%. But that was actually the 10th win in a row.
Damn.
That's pretty good.
You got someone
Yeah.
10 in a row.
We're due one.
I thought my Seahawks were having a good year. Shit.
Well, they are, but you know.
Yeah. They are. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're 9-3. We're 1 game behind you.
Right.
And we got the Falcons up next with Kirk Cousins. So I'm expecting to be 10-3.
Well,
And then
that
after
will do
that,
it.
so, man, who do we play after that? I think the Seahawks will be 11-3 before they play the Rams. Oh, we play the Colts with Jones's busted leg.
Yeah. We should make that.
That'll be awesome.
All right, folks. We want to thank you all for tuning in tonight, or if you're tuning in afterwards, like seemingly most people do. Thank you all for joining us here. June, if you want to follow June specifically on TikTok, it is linked down in the description below. If you want to follow this show, it is down there as well on TikTok and Instagram. So yeah, with that being said, folks, we will get off of here and we'll be back on probably Thursday night watching the Dallas and Detroit game with you guys. So
that'll be a good one.
Stay tuned for that. With all that being said, we will see you all in a couple days. So peace out.
Peace out.